So I came across this stuff on YouTube, and I think I've seen it before, something like it or this exact thing. But what I want to talk about in this video is this MDK project. And what these seem to be are like adult boot camps. And they're pitched to kind of help men like discover themselves, like find themselves. For whatever reason, you know, a general belief is that we as men have lost our way. We have lost our ability to like face adversity and overcome and just achieve things. So it looks like this group has kind of tapped into that market and decided to create a way that they feel can create better men. Right here on the front of the MDK project page, it says, for men who want to level up in business and in life and become purpose-driven leaders. So what is this all about? I'm going to slaughter this guy's name, but it says it's an invitation from Bedros Keuilian, I think, the founder of the Modern Day Night Project. Most men are fighting a constant war within themselves, the internal war between choosing greatness or accepting a life of mediocrity. The war of finding your purpose and reaching your full potential in business, in family, and in life, or simply having an existence underscored with regret. The war of constantly negotiating your goals and dreams versus paying the price that success demands of you so that you and your family can live a life of true freedom in every way. For most men, the war within goes unnoticed for decades. Unlike them, you're aware of the war taking place within you, and that's why you're here on this website. You feel the gnawing of greatness in your belly, and you know that greatness, purpose, and potential are only achieved through self-mastery, by achieving mental toughness, and by constantly pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. And that's what led you here to the project. I get the message, guys. I get the message, okay? You're at war with yourself. It feels like you're just simply existing, right? With a lot of regret, a lot of remorse. And I think a lot of guys can relate to that. You know, a need to find your purpose, a feeling that you haven't reached your full potential. I really don't think there's anyone who isn't struggling with that. And if you are one of those rare individuals that currently is not struggling with that, I'm sure at some point prior to getting to where you are now, you did struggle with that at some point. So man, I get it. I get the message. But what really brings this to the forefront and why people have been talking about this project is what you're paying for and what that cost is. So you're paying for these guys to basically kick your ass for 72 hours, put you through like spec ops military style like buds training. If you look at the videos, if you go to the website and you look at the images, you get the gist of what they're trying to achieve, what they're trying to pitch to you, what they're selling to you. So is it worth the price? What is the price? $18,000 for 72 hours of pseudo military spec ops training. The idea here is that these guys are going to physically and emotionally break you by whooping your ass, and hopefully by breaking you somehow in that they are rebuilding you. Make no mistake about it, in the absence of purpose, discipline, and significance, men die 2 deaths. Once when they're alive, and once again when they finally do die. Do not be one of these men. And then of course, looks like there's some information on the founders. It's repetitive, you know, answer the call, answer the call, answer the call of greatness. Again, guys, I get it. But what I'm trying to say in this video and what brought me to this whole subject is that, you know, if you've got the money, you obviously, you know, there's people who can afford this. This thing is actually pretty successful from what I understand. You can shell out $18,000 and you must be in a pretty deep hole if this is the last ditch for you to kind of find some kind of success, again, as they're pitching in your business or business life or career, in your family life, and in your personal pursuits. And you know, if you don't see any other options and you have the money and you feel like this is worth the investment, I guess I get it. But I want to like pitch another investment to you, because all of this that they're selling you, all of this that they're talking about, you can achieve all of this with martial arts. Specifically the kind of martial arts, combat sports training that I engage in, that I teach, that I pitch. I think if you just do Jiu Jitsu, if you go join a Jiu Jitsu school, a Muay Thai school, boxing program, if you get into the right culture with picking out your school or your gym, this type of adversity you will face on the mats every class. You will be broken down to your most basic nature and beliefs, and you will have to find yourself. You will have to find the strength to continue. You will have to find who you are. You will have to rebuild yourself, and you will have to grow emotionally, intellectually, physically, and honestly, even spiritually. Anyone who does jiu-jitsu knows what I'm talking about. And I feel like the hardships that they're trying to sell you here, the things you need to go through to become better, I know I've seen people go through that on my mats doing jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. Trust me, guys, I've seen spirits broken. I see humility thrive, and I see people become better on the mats. And then I'm blessed to be able to see them become better off the mats out there in the world. That is my message. The things that you gain on the mats, take that with you out in the world. You are your best version of yourself when you're in your gym or your school training, being a part of that community, growing for yourself and growing for them. And so I always post this question to my students. Why wouldn't you be that person outside? Why wouldn't you be that all the time, everywhere you are? And guess how much that cost? I mean, depending on where you train, what stage, whatever. What are the current rates? I guess the industry standard is a little over $200 a month. So to train jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai at a school, you're looking at about $200 a month. Or if that does not interest you and you need to overcome the day-to-day mediocrity of your existence, the hollowness, something's missing, the lack of passion, the inability to push forward, the lack of confidence, whatever the issues are with you directly. If you have the money and you feel like this is something better, then these things do exist apparently. Now here's one of the biggest shortcomings of a program like this. It's 72 hours. Done. Have you learned enough? Have you been pushed enough? Have they left a deep enough imprint on you that you are changed forever? That you are now this new man and you can be this person? Have you done it long enough to develop the habits necessary to continue on the path that you set for yourself after walking out of this program 72 hours later? I doubt it, because that's just not enough time to form any lasting habits. But if you train in martial arts, if you train in jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai consistently for extended periods, you have no choice but to form these habits, because you are in there multiple times a week, sometimes several hours a day, learning, facing adversity, becoming resilient, and growing as a person. And you can do that for years. I mean, if someone backslides after a program like this, like it just doesn't stick to them, or they get a good 90 days of growth out of it, they start to improve, and then they fall back into their old habits, which is what happens if you're not consistently pushing yourself to grow. You're not consistently facing the hardships that shaped you into this new person that you became after a program like this. Do you go back? Do you spend another $18,000? Okay, I stand corrected. Apparently it's a 75-hour program. So let me just make that correction real quick. Adversity and suffering introduce a man to the highest self. Suffering forges character. Suffering develops self-awareness. Suffering reveals superpowers. Suffering builds bonds with brothers. Suffering separates average men from extraordinary men. I agree with all of this. And if you've been a fan of my channel for any amount of time, you understand that when I'm always pushing the mental aspects of training and why we need to struggle and how it makes us resilient and how we deal with nerves by reshaping our mind, that all comes through some form of suffering. And this is why I've said before, I choose to struggle on the mats, because then I can do that here and I can grow here on the mats in my school. And that growth, again, will follow me out there in the world. It's exactly what they're pitching. Okay, so guys, I'm not trying to knock this. I think, these guys saw a void. They saw a need for modern men, and they decided to create a business around it. Looks like they were previously successful with previous business ventures. So, no disrespect, no hate. But just as a reality for the average man who's not going to be in a position to shell out $18,000 for a 75-hour boot camp, to become a better person, to become a better man, and grow successful in all the different aspects of our lives. I'd like to say that I just believe, and I've said this over and over again, and anyone who trains knows what I'm talking about. I'm being repetitive, but I think this can all be achieved through training in Jiu Jitsu, Muay Thai, even boxing, like, again, getting into the right community. And you can just do it more. And therefore your growth becomes more consistent and instinctive. And I think it's just a better deal. So yeah, guys, do a lot of men now need something like this, need things like this? Yes, I think a lot of people need to level up. I think there's a lot of people that feel lost, drowning, or stagnant, any or all of those things. So they're looking and need something. Why don't you go sign up for a free class at a school in your area? So, okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.